Yeah, so there's a castle in the Nether, but we can't actually show it right now because again, it's being decorated for the event on the stream. I don't want to spoil all the because we're gonna be doing a big event, like I said, for Halloween, and I'm not going to be showing that off. But we actually have another Nether building here. Oh, this is cool. Wow, I got a nice lava courtyard and stuff. Fountain of lavaness. Well, that's one way to describe it, I suppose.
I love this rail cart here. Like, it really encapsulates the trapped nature of the damned, you know?
Yeah,
You
they're
just go,
trapped.
yeah, it's just like, okay, you know, it's not like, oh, I'm going to build a hell castle. It's like, I'm going to create an expression of what hell is. I like that.
There you go.
Good job, builder.
It's trapped. I like that. That's actually good. That's good analysis there, man. You should get a job as a an art critic or something.
Yeah,
So
anything that'll feed me. I really, like, yeah.
I'm just kind of floating. You can just explore for yourself. Let me know if you find anything. I actually haven't seen this before either, so at least I haven't seen it in a while. Lots of really cool stuff here. We're actually going to head over to Trusted Landia, which is I don't know why they've named it that, but that's the area of all my admins, Crispy Hick, and all them kind of peoples. Look at this. I'm just getting up here, just crouching around. You got to do the moonwalk too. Oh, wait. Botched my moonwalk. Let's try this again. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Copyrighted stuff on stream, baby.
Can you copyright dances or other gestures?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, because I believe
Probably.
that like gestural expression is uncopyrightable.
Is it? Okay.
I'm not certain though. I was actually thinking about this the other day.
Were you?
Yeah, well, these are the sorts of things that I have to think about because, you know, like I said, if I'm on the YouTube, that sort of thing.
I actually had an idea for a. I'll never do it, so I don't care if somebody steals this and makes it. But a tabletop role-playing game based around kind of a similar concept, where the character classes are based off of like real-world jobs. Like, like weathermen are basically like a cabal of druids that control the weather. So like the class would be called meteorologist, and it was like you would use weather-based magic to affect the world and stuff. And it was like the entire cabal was led by what's his name, the gentleman that's on oh god, he's what's the dude's name, the African American guy that does the weather nationally, Al Roker.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, he was going to be like the leader of some figure like the national weather guy was going to be like the leader of the cabal or something like that. I don't know, some kind of silly idea I had, but for some reason that reminded me of that. But yeah, thanks for linking that there.
Actually, I just linked the tabletop D&D based game that me and my friends had worked on based on our fantasy comic called Pitfalls and Penguins.
Pitfalls and No kidding.
And I actually played a weatherman in our system.
Are you serious?
Yeah, named Chuck Waverly. And the thing is,
Waverly, no kidding.
yeah, so Chuck Waverly, he was a newsman or a weather reporter or whatnot who would normally like stand outside in hurricanes. So all of his stats are for dodging and surviving getting hit by stuff. And he wasn't necessarily the best fighter in terms of dealing anything out, but he could get hit by anything and survive it essentially. You know, so then one of the other characters was the cameraman, and videographer is one of the classes in our system.
That sounds I'm dead serious. That sounds like almost exactly like what I was going for mine. That's hilarious.
Well, I linked it in the chat, so you know I didn't just type this up right now.
No, it's okay. Seriously, I believed you, man. But that's hilarious. I had no idea.
Like one of the videographer skills is called smash cut, where if you can get an NPC to say like 3 times in 3 different ways that they will never do anything, like, oh, I'll never let you in, you know, there's no way you're getting in here, nope, never letting you in, then you can smash cut to them sheepishly standing by the door as you all parade in.
That's pretty sweet, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
That.
You know, and then we got all sorts of stuff, like the kind of druid-based class is called agricultists. And they're like a bunch of bunch of hippies essentially, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I thought about a consultant. which would be like a guy in a business suit who casts divination spells. And then the executive, which he wears a tie like a noose. Kind of like an executioner executive. See what I'm saying? The reason I brought you down here, by the way, was to actually kill you and hide the body. So if you want to stand still for a minute.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
the reason I brought you down here was to show off the whole fences under tilled earth thing, because you're familiar with it, but that's we'd spent a long time to do this.
So you just put a grid of fences underneath the tilled earth. I'm assuming you have to put the fence in there first and then the earth on top of it. But then
actually, the order doesn't matter, but it does make it a lot easier if that's what you if that's how you do it. So if you want to subscribe to me by following me, there's a follow button right above the main video screen. You can also head over to Joe Hills on YouTube or myself on YouTube. Mine is youtube.com/Cilantro Gamer. I'm not nearly as good with the YouTubes as Mr. Joe Hills is. You can catch his at youtube.com/Joe Hills TSD, Team Snow Day. So I have to ask you, where did the Team Snow Day come from?
Well, the guy that I work with on the comics had been doing a Penguin comic called The Day It Snowed before he started working on Jack of All Blades. And we were trying to think of a good name for our little organization. And just Team Snow Day was one of the ones that we liked the best. Because it's fun. It reminds you of being a kid and having the day off. And
definitely.
So is this an actual playable game here, or is this just like for show?
This is just my little for show volleyball court with a little ref stand. Of course, got some waffles on there and some bleachers. And the scoreboard will look a little better when the new patch comes out, where the fences will grab a hold of anything right next to them.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of built this with the idea that it'll be changing here. But the teams are the Red Rockets and the Yellow Swords. I don't know. I just kind of made up some names. But I actually can show you the rest of my little base here. There's not a whole lot here, but figure since this is technically my show, I should show off some of my stuff. I'm just so proud of everybody on my server, man. I mean, the only thing I really have to show that I've done is C-Lab, and it's not even close to being done yet. So kind of got some a lot of things to do here. So let's see here.
So TZ, I was gonna say, TZ asks what my favorite game is, excluding Minecraft. I really like Dominion, which is a card game.
Oh my God, you play Dominion. I have to interrupt you. Oh my God, Dominion is so good. I love that game. Go ahead, keep talking about it.
Oh, yeah, well, because like at the end of the day, when you've been playing computer stuff all day, just being able to switch gears and, do something with your hands, with shuffling and whatnot. And I used to play it a lot more. Unfortunately, one of my friends moved away, who I used to play with. And with me and my fiance alone, the attack cards are a little bit too brutal. It's not oh, I'm playing an attack card. It's, oh, I'm attacking you. You know? And
dude, I love Dominion. It's one of my absolute favorite games. Actually, between myself and my two friends that I hang out with the most, my best bud from college and his wife, we have every expansion for it. We play a lot. Do you have any of the expansions for it?
I got we got all the way up through Prosperity, and we haven't gotten the new Cornucopia one. Just because, like I said, one of the friends that we played with the most moved away, and so it's a great game. I really like it.
This is my kind of pseudo house thing here. I just built this at the end of a show when I had a headache. I was just like, I'm just gonna build something and kind of build. I don't actually have anything in here, obviously, but I thought it turned out kind of cool. It's kind of I have this problem with having to have almost everything symmetrical, and this was my way of saying no, nothing will be symmetrical. It'll be a huge, ugly mess. But I think it turned out kind of cool. I like the gravel here as I put a switch down as I was trying to punch it. But I kind of like the gravel here, or not the gravel, but the nether rack.
Yeah, thank you.
Turned out pretty well. And the sandwich blocks here, okay, never mind.
I was gonna say there's really no choice, so I don't know if you would be a sandwich.
Yeah, TZ Raffid, I think the person who asked the question said the game is so epic. I don't know. Dominion is it's a great game because it's like you will never play the same game twice. I think statistically it's like near impossible that like every time you shuffle the cards, that game will never have been played and never will be played in the history of the universe. A deck of cards, I don't know if you guys knew this, but a deck of cards, if you shuffle a deck of cards correctly and get them shuffled up, the arrangement of the cards in order is pretty much statistically unlikely to ever be duplicated ever again. And I mean, that's true for like hundreds of thousands of years. That's how statistically unlikely it is. And it's definitely the same way with Dominion, because there's like what, a couple hundred cards potentially in a 10-card set. So
Yeah, and there's other rules that affect like whether or not provinces, or is it provinces? No, it's colonies are out and stuff.
colonies and platinum, yeah,
Yeah, and
absolutely. So
yeah, I'm a huge fan of it, and
yeah.
we also I don't know if you've heard of Suro. It's Tango Sierra Uniform, Romeo Oscar.
No.
It's there's a game on the Google Chrome that's kind of based on it called Entangled. But essentially, the idea is that you like build paths that you force other players to follow and yourself to follow, and you try and keep your marker from falling off the board.
It's a grid, and you place tiles on it, and they all have like little loopy shoopy patterns that go, and you have to. I saw that at Origins actually, a game expo. Are you familiar with Origins? In Ohio.
I've heard of it, but tell me about it.
It's a 4 or 5 day game convention. It's all about board games and card games and collectible card games and all that kind of stuff. It's all about all that kind of stuff. It's the thing I look forward to every year in my life, because I've been going to it for like the last 10 years, and it's the most fun you will ever have. And it's like I found some really cool people there just randomly. There's like, you can just take a board game there and find a room and just pick people out from the convention. It's like the biggest collection of board game geeks you've ever seen, and it's every summer in Columbus here in Ohio. Worth the trip. I can promise you that if you like any board games at all.
Oh yeah, and I am a big fan of traveling for conventions and stuff like that, because I've done the comic for several years now and gone around selling T-shirts in different places and whatnot. And so yeah, I would not rule that out. And also, like, I know we had talked about filming our live-action kitchen show at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man, that would be.
I would not rule out going to Origins. I'd have to find out when is it? What time of the year is that? In like July or June?
It used to be, up until this upcoming year, it was always like the week before the 4th of July, but now it's actually going to be in late May.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So it used to be always like the thing right around the middle of summer, but yeah. So anyway, I should probably explain what this is. This is just kind of my little beachfront project here. I really like the pseudo beach chairs that the beds look like. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that very slight little three-dimensionality. I love that.
Mm-hmm. Now, of course, if anybody slept in any of those beds, they'd be missing or obstructed, and it's back to the spawn house.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was never intended to be functional by any means. And here's my little beach bar. You gotta have your refreshments if you're sitting at the beach side. So let me see what I can get. Go ahead and take a seat there. What can I get for you, young man?
Well, I don't know what's on. You got any drink specials today?
I got lever. Something I don't know.
Lever up.
Lever up. There you go. Lever up. That's pretty clever. I like that.
Yeah.
But it's just it's supposed to be like drinking glass racks up here, wine glass racks up here with the ladders and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. So, and a fire pit that I actually had to I apparently sputtered out at some point.
How does that not catch the logs on fire?
Again, there's no fire spread, so.
Oh, that's right. I'm not used to playing multiplayer.
Yeah.
I know you said you didn't want to do any more commercials, but if you don't mind, I'd really like to refresh my glass.
That's fine.
So could you give me a minute?
Yeah, we'll take one quick commercial break here at the end of the show, and then we'll be back for some more action. So sit tight, everybody.
Cool. I'm just going to mute my mic.
Cool. Not a problem. Let me see here. Let me read some more questions while he is going AFK. Zombie Killer says, let's see here. Hey, so I have a recommendation of an activity you can do in streaming days you have open. You can have people, servers, PM you the address. Oh, like a public. Okay, let me read this again just to make sure. Okay, Zombie Killer says, hopefully the commercials are over. I hope. It says, hey, so I have a recommendation of an activity you can do on a streaming day you have open. You have people who have servers PM your IP address for the server and pick a random one, and you and your mods in the server can host a little something. Build contest, maybe? I have no idea. So let me head over to Butters' house, since Butters wants to show off Buttersville. Butters 456. Oh, TP Chef Connor 123, I think is actually his name. What the heck is his name? 111. TP Chef Connor. 111. TP here.
Okay, my mic should be back on now. Can you hear me?
Yep, you are back on, sir. Let me read a couple more. We had a couple of comments and questions coming in here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show off one of my other settlements on the server. We have a lot of people who have built sort of villages, and this is Butter's village, but he didn't do all the building here. This is actually one of our first settlements on the server as well. So let me see here. Reading some chat. Mooser Mage says, so we ever do a live stream with my family playing Minecraft? You know, if I go back home for a holiday to my hometown, I should take my equipment with me and do a stream, just like a kind of quick, maybe hour-long stream with my niece and I, just kind of poke around in Minecraft. That actually might be kind of fun. Let me see here. See if there's any other questions. If you see one that grabs your eye, you can go ahead and just shout it out there.
Oh,
Joe.
Yeah, sorry. Well, one thing I was going to actually ask you about is, in terms of conventions, one thing that I've been talking to Paws about is trying to get him down for Chattacon, which is not necessarily anywhere near as big as Origins, but it's in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's in like late January every year. And one of the things that's great about Chattacon is you pay like $60 for your badge, and then the con suite area is just this huge area full of tables that are great for gaming, and it has all you can drink beer. And it's usually like Shinerbach, and then they have like Miller Lite or whatever. But some of the stuff's kind of okay. And what's really good though about it is it really keeps people in that area the entire con. Apparently they've got like unlimited soda fountains too. But what they realized was that buying kegs of beer versus buying packets of syrup for the soda machine.
Oh yeah, I bet it's actually cheaper.
Yeah, it was like way cheaper, and so they're just like, well, I guess we'll throw beer out there as part of the badge. So, this is a little marketplace area. We actually have a couple of these. We have an economy plugin on our server. It's like one of the non-vanilla things that we have, and you can set up your own little marketplace. Again, most of the people on this particular city actually don't really show up to my stream too much anymore, but it's still kind of a nice looking place. There's one in Boat Town, which is our original settlement in the server, that looks a little better than this, but still kind of neat to have the little colored banners up top, and everybody's got their own little marketplace set up. And I think Enderman might have caused a little bit of damage here, actually. Yeah, that does seem to happen for him. Karank has been asking repeatedly, how do I recommend getting viewers for their YouTube channels? I would say a big part of it is just constant iteration in everything you do. You want to always be getting better. You always want to be critical of yourself. I didn't start my channel like knowing it was going to be huge, but I said, okay, well, I've practiced being funny before. I was editor-in-chief of a humor newspaper. I've been doing comics for several years, but I need to do something that's more improvisational and every day to get better at what I do. And so it just so happened that I was good enough and interested enough that people liked it and responded well to it. But you also, if people aren't responding to what you're doing, you got to be willing to change up. You got to be willing to ask, why am I not successful? And a lot of times, if you say, I'm doing everything that these other people are doing, and they're successful and I'm not, that's probably wrong. You don't want to be doing what other people are doing. You want to do what you are best at that other people would be incapable of replicating.
Yep, that's actually really good advice, and I really don't have too much else to add to that. I mean, he's right. You know, I'm not super experienced in this. Joe seems to have a lot more experience in general of like sort of marketing. I don't want to say marketing because that implies that it's about the money, but you know what I mean.
No, but I mean, I do graphic design that involves marketing.
Well, that is true. That does
like my
marketing,
job literally involves convincing people that things are important.
That things are important. That is true. But I mean, it's about being honest and making your own product. Not necessarily. I mean, you can channel someone a little bit. I mean, you're going to be influenced by people's things that people do without even realizing it. Like, I'm sure I channel Day9 and Husky Starcraft because those are two of my favorite commentators. I'm sure I get into modes where I say things like they say them and stuff because they're awesome and they've inspired me. But you have to be yourself at the end of the day. You have to put out your own interesting content. And unless you're doing parody, don't parrot what somebody else does because it's not going to get you anywhere. So be original and be honest. Be very honest with your viewers, whether you're streaming, whether you're YouTubing. It doesn't mean you can't have a little bit of fun, but what I mean by be honest is don't necessarily deviate from who you are to put on a show.
Oh yeah, because the thing is, if you start being successful while you're doing things that you hate or that aren't really you, then people are going to expect you to keep doing whatever made you successful in the first place, and you'll never get the chance to really be you. And so what you got to do is just find new ways to express who you are differently and creatively until one of them just kind of catches people's attention. And, you know, so it's one of those things where I've been doing a lot of things that have been nowhere near as successful as this for a long time, and this one just happened to stick finally. But, you know, it's years, you know, of just improvement.
Yeah, and for me, it's months of improvement and a great audience, and it helps to. If you are going to do, I'll tell you this: if you are going to do anything that you want to, even if you don't necessarily want to make it big, but if you want to have a chance at making it big, listen to your audience, interact with. You don't necessarily have to interact with them, and it helps a lot. But it definitely is something you need to do. You have to be aware that people are spending time out of their day to look at you. Now, if you get really big, if I got like 50,000 viewers a day, just statistically, I couldn't answer every question that I get. I'm already having trouble keeping up with the chat at times when I'm getting involved in stuff. But you still have to be mindful of the fact that you have an audience. So
yeah, and Karank asks additionally, is it also based on luck? And yes, it is. But that's why you got to always be trying something different and something new. Because honestly, even if you get lucky, if you're not prepared skill-wise to keep up with the audience you've got, you will lose it. Like, for example, the comic I do, Jack of All Blades, was linked twice on Boing Boing, which is a pretty big website run by Cory Doctorow. And both times we saw a huge spike in readers, but one of the problems with our comic is the guy that I work with is in pharmacy school, so we could only put out one page a week, which is too slow for most people. And so it's one of those things where even though we had these lucky moments, we could never capitalize on them. And so in some ways, this video thing was me attempting to develop my skills further while being able to put out something every day and to be able to maintain an audience. So if I did get lucky again, which I wasn't counting on, but if I did, I wanted to be ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I'm trying to constantly improve my stream as well. This has been a learning experience, and I think we've riffed off of each other pretty well tonight. Honestly, I think the show's gone pretty well. I haven't had any major gaffes or anything that were too embarrassing, so that's good. And it's certainly a lot of fun to do collaborative stuff, and I want to do a lot more in the future for sure. So let's see. Zombie Killa 20 says, "Hey, Sil, I just want to say that you're my idol." Oh my gosh. That's pretty deep.
He has cast you in bronze and set you atop a pedestal.
I guess, man. I just need to be there, I suppose. And then I love video games. Well, you should love video games. You should be passionate about what you like. You shouldn't just be like, yeah, I play video games. If you love video games, tell everybody. Tell potential girlfriends that you love video games. And if they don't like it, then forget it. Forget them.
That video game thing, that's the same thing as the audience thing. Like, be who you want to be. Exactly. But always try to be a better version of who you want to be, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He says he wants to be like me. Oh, you don't want to be like me, man. I have a beard and you can't possibly.
Well, here's the other thing that I would say to anybody who wants to be like you. Remember that Cilantro Gamer broadcasts 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And so if you wanted to be like him, not only would you have to broadcast for 40 hours a week, but you would have to pick times that he was not broadcasting, because if you're just essentially doing the same thing he does and you're doing it at the same time, unless you are very gifted in a lot of other ways, that like you're going to be Johnny-come-lately. You are not going to be able to pick up as huge an audience, you know? Yep. Try and do something that you can do excellently, not do something that he's already doing.
Yeah. So, but definitely, play to your strengths. I mean, like, here's a good example. Frosty Freeze, who's a fellow streamer, he gets 50 to 100 viewers a night, and he puts on a really entertaining show. And you guys should definitely go check him out. He's got actually a link down in my info section, twitch.tv/Frosty_Freeze. His show is completely different from mine. He plays Minecraft, but he does like sort of micro builds, things you can build in like 30 or 40 minutes. Almost exclusively out of colored wool. He takes requests from the audience on what to build. He hosts little mini games and trivia contests and all kinds of stuff during his show. It's really cool, and it's what he does. And I wish he had a bigger audience just for his sake, because it's an awesome show, and you guys really should check it out. It's a lot of fun. Very, very interactive. More interactive than my show, I would say. I mean, I try my best to keep this interactive, but he really takes stuff from the audience and all that kind of stuff. And I'm actually kind of envious, because he's got a really cool show, a very unique idea. I mean, I do my own unique stuff as well, but him in particular, his entire show is based off of his own little shtick, and I like that. It's really cool. So, all right, we're gonna take maybe one or two more questions and probably wrap it up for this show. I will be in the chat afterwards. One thing here, Joe, I know you have some work to do today, but
Yeah.
I do an after show. Sometimes where like an hour after I'm done streaming, I'll fire up the stream again and play something like TF2 or another game, or I'll just spend the time to just chat with my viewers that are still around and mine some stuff. So they kind of want me to do a TF2 after show. I might. So I actually should probably add you on Steam. So I don't know. I mean, if you have any free time tonight, you're welcome to show up. If not, it's totally cool. But yeah, I play TF2 on occasion on stream, and I wouldn't mind having you along as well.
Yeah, I'll open up Steam and I'll see where I am in an hour because.
Yeah,
you know,
I know you got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah,
sure,
because the other thing is that the software that I use essentially is just dumping raw bitmaps into a hard drive,
yeah.
and so it's gonna have to compress for like 2.5 hours after this.
Oh wow, okay,
so
that's all good.
So at that point though, I can't actually edit anything on my video computer, so I can get out like my lame computer and play TF2 with all the settings turned down and not feel too guilty. But I also cannot neglect my fiance too much, who has been very quiet
good.
and patient while I've been doing this. So
hello, Joe's fiance. Thank you for being super awesome.
well, she actually can't hear this.
Okay, well I'll just say hello anyway.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can just tell her hello for me. But yeah, I do after shows every once in a while. We can take a tsunami check, earthquake check, weather. It's some kind of weather, really rare type of weather. It's an expression that's used when you want to do something later. Are you sure? Is it earth? No, it's not earthquake. What is it?
Hail check.
Hail check. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's cool. We'll just take a hail check and we'll do it some other time then. So that'll work. All right. So let's do like one or two more questions. And if you see any, you could always do that. So here's a quick one we can take from TZ Raff. One of these days I'll figure out what this dude's name is. He's been asking a lot of good questions. Do you guys have a motto? My motto is waffle all the things. Seriously, waffle all the things.
Yeah, I don't really have one. And this kind of goes in. Also, Mr. Stupid Pants is asking, "What's my meaning of life?" It's just like, I don't have time to think about that. I just make stuff. Yeah, like go do stuff. I don't know. Like, there's things happening. Make other things happen.
Make other things. Do all the things.
Yeah, do all the things. Yeah, there we go.
That's right. Mine is waffle all things. This is do all the things. Don't take that the wrong way. They're saying rain check. Is that really?
That doesn't sound right, but you know, I don't. That might be Portuguese, and I'm not really much of an Iberian scholar, so who knows?
You might be right. I think so.
The only Portuguese word I know is probalo, as in no probalo. So I guess I know no as well, but other than that.
That's pretty good. Okay. All right. Any questions you see there that you would like to answer, sir?
Let's see. A lot of these aren't really questions.
Some interesting chat going on here. So.
Yeah. What do I think about Minecraft turning into an RPG? Well, the thing is, by the time that Minecraft turns into an RPG, the source code will be unobfuscated, and if I don't like it, I'll just change it.
There you go.
I mean, that's once again, like, why worry about something when you could just fix it?
Yep. See your game type. I'm actually going to take this moment while you're still online to change. I hope you're not flying. So I'm about to change your game type back to 0.
Okay. Yeah. No, I'm standing on this nice little brick road here.
Okay. Game mode. Joe Hills says that way if you feel like hopping on you can play legit as we're supposed to.
Thank you. And I've got my inventory full of bows and fishing rods and all that.
Try typing /CI. It might work for you. And
is that clear the inventory?
Yeah, I don't know if that'll work or not. Or you just throw
I do
it
not
on
have access. Yeah.
Over here.
Oh yeah, where's the incinerator?
Yeah, incinerator's right over here. So all right, we'll take one more question here. One more question. Here we go. We'll just do this one. He's been asking it a few times. He's been very patient about it. Sarge F, I guess is probably how it's pronounced. Still says, Joe, what's the best moment of your day? I'm not a morning person, but I like when I get up because it means I can play video games more. No, actually, I like breakfast. I like to cook breakfast for myself. It's a little ritual I get into, and I actually need to go grocery shopping because I'm almost out of breakfast supplies. But bacon, eggs, and hash browns almost every morning or after morning, noon. Whenever I wake up. So that's kind of my favorite part of my day. What about you, Joe? What do you like to do?
I don't know. Like, I like most of my day.
Most of your day.
Once again, I'm not a big
Coming home to
favorites
see your
guy.
fiance. You gotta do that.
I'm
You
gonna
gotta
say
that, right?
things that involve my fiance are generally my favorite parts of my day.
Pretty big part of your life. So
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Well, that seems like a pretty positive note to end the show. So I'd like to, again to say a big thank you to Mr. Joe Hills and, of course, all my viewers for tuning in tonight. I had a blast. I'm looking forward to doing more collaborative work, not just with Joe, but with other people. You guys should definitely check him out. I'm going to start mentioning all your stuff, but if you want to type out the links into chat for your comic and your tabletop system and all that kind of stuff, Joe Hills can be found at youtube.com/Joe Hills TSD, stands for Team Snow Day. Very cool guy. You can follow him on Twitter at Joe Hills, straight
Indeed.
up right there. There's the pen and paper system there, teamsnowday.com/PNP. You can check that out.
Yeah, for Pitfalls and Penguins.
Pitfalls and Penguins. I love that. And there's his YouTube as well. And then you have your comic as well, which was
Jack of all blades.
Jack of all blades, yes, jackofallblades.com, if I recall correctly. And of course, my name is Cilantro. I'll be back again tomorrow for probably the Aether. You can follow me on Twitter at Cilantro Gamer. You can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/Cilantro Gamer. You can catch me on Facebook, facebook.com/Cilantro Gamer. If you have any questions that we did not get to, you have my apologies first. And secondly, you have a way to contact me via private message. I will catch up on private messages tonight. Just send them here on Twitch, and I do read all those that I get. You can also email me, cilantrogamer@gmail.com. And I think that's pretty much it. Would you like to have the last word there?
Keep adventuring, y'all.